Hello everybody, it's Professor Messner. It's now week 3 of our class, and so this is your overview of what you can expect from the texts this week. And I say texts because we're going to be talking about Rawls and Bean, but also be talking about the short story that I've uploaded about sea otters. But I'll come back to that in just a second. In Chapter 7, you're going to be finishing that this week. You're going to find out more about John C. Fremont and his role in history, and in particular California history. You're going to need to make up your mind about him. Was he somebody that really deserves a huge role in the founding of California? Has history given him a fair shake, or has history overblown his reputation? His actions, not always exactly subordinate and not always exactly profitable, but you make up your mind about what you think about him. Anyway, that's something I want you to watch for. Chapter 8 gets finally to the gold rush and everything that spins off from the gold rush. Now, Chapter 8's significant enough that we're going to be talking about it again next week, but you really, I think most of you understand this, you can't understand California history without understanding the gold rush, because it really did bring people, bring diversity, bring economic growth to the state, and it eventually led to us being a state. So you really can't understand it without getting into that. A good way of asking yourself questions about this for understanding would be, what would California have been like without the gold rush? It's difficult to think of now, but perhaps after you've gotten to the chapter a little bit more, you'll be able to understand that. Later on, they'll be talking about how Americans used natural resources for their own gain during the gold rush. And then the chapter will wrap up with a little bit of an examination of how the consequences of the gold rush were basically negative. You may think that Rawls and Bean have kind of a negative tone on this, and I do too, so be interested in talking to you more about it. And then the short story, How California Sea Otters Brought Silk and Tea to Boston. This is a cute little story. I don't know if it's based in fact. It came from a book of children's stories about California called Bears, Pirates, and Silver Lace. I picked it up when I was a kid. But I do think it's a pretty good idea. It gives a pretty good idea about how the economy of California was changed by the arrival of international forces like smugglers, and how the Indians once again are taken advantage of in a capitalistic mindset or worldview, or whatever you want to call it, that they really don't understand. So anyway, we'll be talking about all of that in conference also, and if you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Happy reading. Talk to you soon.